The Galapagos Islands are a group of around about 1,000 kilometers over Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, the Darwin settled the island itself called Pico, and wrote about the animals he found there, including giant large trees, around birds, usual bird. Studies the Galapagos after the development into animal and human development. Another many rubies, a type of bass, and this interesting thing struck me. Bass exchange presents dance around the shops of red rupee. They are on the usual bread around the tree. Some of them must take food every beaches, where beaches can swimming play. The island of Santa Cruz has a lot of human population on the island, and is home to Charles Research Station. Because the location, the Galapagos Islands should be hot during the cold season, which are around June and November, so they called winters. It may direct most of the day. There is no winter fog. During the warm season, December to May, the aperture temperatures are around 25 degrees. It is warm and sunny. You can sometimes have rain. Also, another round was many years, the island have little contact with people. Type of animals and the plant that develop unique on war. First European that discovered the island about in the early 16th century. But no evidence that the American people, Europeans and Croats can carry that massive portions of insects to be island. This question threatens animals in the bed couldn't defend themselves. Island are covered because the animals and plants around them are so usual. Government and organizations make serious efforts to protect them. There have been several programs. When scientists come to the island for study and research, they try to protect the natural environment. Human population living on the island and growing number of tourists are both threaten the matter for the island. The Galapagos Islands are a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador and the Pacific Ocean. 40,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed onto the islands past called Pico and wrote about unique animals on his found there, including giant tortoises, lions, bears, usual birds. Darwin studies Galapagos helped develop series of animal and human development. Not similar than many rubies, type of bats and interesting things to attract me. A bus exchange presents such a dance around the shop that several trees. They are not the usual plant light on trees. And some of them take photos of lovely beaches, where visitors can swim and play. Living on the only part of the island. The island of St. Cruz has the largest human population on the island, and its home to the Darwin Research Station. Because the location, the Galapagos Islands should be hot. During the cold season, which last June, November, a study called Windbrook remained the lecture most of the day, and of take fall. During the warm season, the December to May, the temperature is around 25 degrees. But sometimes heavy rain. Also, in the colder location, many other land, many years the island are little contact with people. What types of animals and plants develop are unique from work? Covered the island in the early 16th century, by many people, that they don't find evidence, have been before. There have been birds called cats, squirrels, dogs, rats, mice, sheep, horses, and insects to be island. These creatures were animals and birds, which could not defend themselves. The island are part of Ecuador. Because the animals and the plants there are so usual, and government are serious and protected. However, programs include Burgos and Africa. Many scientists come to the island for study and research. They try to protect the natural environment, human population living on the island, and the growing number of tourists to and both threaten the native of the island. The Galapagos Island, the group of islands over 1,000 kilometers west of the Pacific Ocean. since people who lived there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, although some the unique animals found there, they are around to listen to lions, whales, and the usual birds. Wind studies and graphics help into the process of animal and human development. The Galapagos Islands, a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island in a ship called Pico and learned about unique animals he found there, including giant tortoises and sea lion, whales, and unusual birds. Darwin's studies in the Galapagos helped him develop the studies about human development. Group are island about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island on a ship called Pico. Sailed to the Charles Darwin sailed to the island in the ship called Pico. Charles Darwin sailed to the island in the Pico. And Robert was found there. Darwin studied on the Galapagos helped him develop theories about animal and human development. I learned that many rubies type of birds as interesting things to me. The birds exchange presents and dance around the shore of the breakthrough feet. They are rather unusual growth of trees, and some of them pools or lovely beaches where visitors can swim or play. People living on only 5 of the island. The island of St. Cruz has the largest human population on the island, and is home to Charles Darwin Research Station. Because of the location, the Galapagos Islands should be hot, that during the cold season, which lasts from June to November, study called windbreak. It meant like most of the day. The Galapagos Islands, a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people lived in Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island on a ship called Pico and wrote about unique animals he found there, including giant tortoises, sea lions, whales, and unusual birds. Darwin studies in the Galapagos helped develop a series of including giant tortoises, whales, and unusual birds. Darwin studied in the Galapagos helped develop his theories about animal and human development. Giant tortoises, whales, and unusual birds. Darwin's studies in the process of Darwin's studies in the Galapagos helped him develop his theories about animal and human development. The Galapagos Islands, a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island in a ship called the Beagle and wrote about the unique animals and wrote about the unique animals he found there, including a giant red tortoise. The Galapagos Islands are a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west of the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 14,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island in a ship called Beagle. A lot of unique animals he found there, including giant turtles, giant whales, and unusual birds. His studies in the Galapagos helped develop his theories of university development. The Galapagos Islands. The Galapagos Islands are a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island on a ship called Pico, and learned about unique animals he found there, including giant tortoises, sea lions, whales, and unusual birds. Darwin's studies in the Galapagos helped to develop his theories of animal and human development. The Galapagos Islands are a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador and the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island on a ship called Pico. A lot about unique on there, including giant tortoises, lions, whales, and unusual birds. Darwin studies Galapagos helped him develop his theories of animal and human development. The Galapagos Islands are a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island on a ship on the Pico. Unusual animals is found there, including giant tortoises, sea lions, whales, and unusual birds. Darwin studies in Galapagos helped to develop theories on human development. Islands are a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island on a ship called the Beagle. Unlike bio-unit animals in sounding, include giant low twisted zero-round whales and unusual breath. Darwin studies the Galapagos helped to develop theories of animal and human development. Unknown zero-round, there are many ruby, a type of bat that does interesting things to attract mates. The breath exchange presents and dance around the shell of the bright ruby. The island have usual pride around tree, and some of them protect boys of the meteor. The island of St. Cruz has the largest human population in the island, and he is home to Charles Darwin Research Station. Human Devil. Now silver more island many beautiful rubies. A type of bird was interesting. The bird exchange presents and dance around the shore of the bird tree. The island of unusual though some of them. A visit can swimming play. There are people living on the part of the island. No rubies are a type of bird that does interesting things to attract me. The bird exchange presents and dance around the shape of bird tree. The island. Operation on the island and is home to the Charles Darwin Research Station. The Galapagos Islands are a group of islands about 10,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin saw to the island in a ship called the Beagle and wrote about one unique animal that he found there. So the sea around was unusual but Darwin's studies in the Galapagos helped him develop in his theories of the human type. And now see more land than many blue fluvies, a type of bird that does interesting things at the made. The bird exchange presents and dance around the shore of the broad feet. The island have unusual birds and trees. Some of the most lovely beaches, where visitors can swim and play. There are people living on the little island. The Santa Cruz has a lot of human population on the island, and it's home to a research station. Because of the restriction. During most of the day, there is often 34. There is a warm season of December to May, the temperature 25 degrees. It is warm and sunny, sometimes have rain. Also, because the location of many of the land, for many years the island have little contact with people. The types of animal and plants that develop are unique to count for. First, I'll discover the island. Santa Cruz has the largest human population. The bird exchange presents on North Island are many beautiful rubies. The type of bird interesting things are to made. The bird exchange presents and dance around the shore of their feet. The island have usually used brown like a tree. Among them static forests, lovely beaches, where visitors can swim and play. There are people living on 5 of the island. The island of Santa Cruz has the largest human population in the island, and it's home to Charles Darwin Research Station. On North Timor Island, there are many flowers rubies. On North Timor rubies, a type of bird that does interesting things that attract mate. The birds exchange presents and dance around the shore of the root tree. The island are unusual great around tree. Some of them take forward the lovely beaches where visitors can swim and play. There are people living on the 5 of the island. The island of Santa Cruz has the largest human population on the island, and up to the Charles Darwin research. Because of location, the Galapagos Island should be hot. That during the cold season, last June, November, the study called windblow. It means like most of the day, there's often a thick fog. It is warm and sunny, we can sometimes have rain. Heavy rain. On North Timor Land are many beautiful rubies, a type of bird that does interesting things that attract me. The birds exchange presents and dance around the shore of the rubber tree. The island are unusual bright like a tree. Some of them take fruits of rubber beaches, everything can swim and play. There are people living on only 5 of the island. The island of Santa Cruz Island, and its home Charles Darwin Research Station. The Galapagos Islands are a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of 40,000 people who lived there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island in a ship called Beagle and wrote about unique animals he find there, including giant round tortoises, sea lions, wild and unusual birds. Darwin's study in the Galapagos helped him develop his theories about animal and human development. On North Timor Island. On North Timor Island, there are many blue-footed bodies, a type of bird that does interesting things to attract a mate. A type of bird that does interesting things to attract a mate. The birds exchange presents and dance around as they show off their bright blue feet. The birds exchange presents and dance around as they show off their bright blue feet. The islands have unusual plant life and trees. The islands have unusual plant life and trees, and some of them have tree forests or lovely beaches where visitors can swim and play. There are people living on only 5 of the islands. There are people living on only 5 of the islands. The island of Santa Cruz has the largest human population. In the island. The island of Santa Cruz has the largest human population. In the island and is home to the Charles Darwin Research Station. The island of Santa Cruz. The island of Santa Cruz has the largest human population. The largest human population. The largest human population ということです。On North Timor Island, there are many blue-footed boobies. On North Timor Island, there are many blue-footed boobies. On North Timor Island, there are many blue-footed boobies, a type of bird that does interesting things to attract a mate. A type of bird that does interesting things to attract a mate. A type of bird that does interesting things to attract a mate. A type of bird that does interesting things to attract a mate. The birds exchange presents and dance around as they show off their bright blue feet. As they show off their bright blue feet. The birds exchange presents and dance around as they show off their bright blue feet. The island have unusual plant life and trees, and some of them have thick forest or lovely beaches where visitors can swim and play. There are people living on only 5 of the island. The island of Santa Cruz has the largest human population in the island and is home to the Charles Darwin Research Station. The Galapagos Islands are a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island of Saipan called the Beagle and wrote about unique animals he found there, including giant tortoises, sea lions, whales, and unusual birds. Darwin's studies in the Galapagos helped him develop his theories on human development. On that similar land, there are many blue-footed boobies, a type of bird that does interesting things to attract mates. The birds exchange presents and dance around the shade of the bright blue feet. The island have unusual plant life and trees, that some of them work for lovely beaches, where visitors can swim and play. There are people living on only part of the island. The island of Santa Cruz has the largest human population in the island and is home to Charles Darwin Research Station. The Galapagos Islands are a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island on a ship called the Beagle and wrote about the unique animals he found there, including giant tortoises, sea lions, whales, and unusual birds. Darwin's studies on Galapagos helped to develop the series about animal and human development. On North Seymour there are many blue-billed rubies, a type of bird that does interesting things to attract mates. The birds exchange presents and dance around the shell of their bright blue feet. The island have unusual plant life and trees, and among them stagpoles, live beaches where visitors can swim and play. There are people living on the only part of the island. The island of St. Cruz has the largest human population on the island, and it is the home of Charles Darwin Research Station. The Galapagos Islands are a group of islands 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador and the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island on a ship called Beagle. What unique animals he found there, including giant tortoises, sea lions, whales, and injured birds. Darwin's studies on Galapagos helped to develop in the series about animal and human development. On North Seymour there are many blue-footed boobies, the type of bird that does interesting things to mate. But both exchange presents and dance around the shore of the bright blue heat. The island are unusual life and tree. Some of them are trekpoles, lovely beaches, where visitors can swim and play. There are only 5 of the island. The island of Santa Cruz has the largest human population in the island, and it's home to Charles Darwin Station. The Galapagos Islands are a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island in a ship called the Beagle, and Robert the unique animals and found there. And wrote about unique animals he found there. And wrote about unique animals. And wrote about the unique animals. And wrote about the unique animals he found there, including giant loaded tortoises, sea lions, whales, and unusual birds. Darwin's studies in the Galapagos helped him develop his series. Darwin's studies in the Galapagos helped him develop his theories about animals and human development. On North Seymour Island, there are many blue-footed boobies, a type of bird that does interesting things to attract a mate. The birds exchange presents to dance around as they show off their bright blue feet. The island have unusual plant life and tree, and some of them have thick forests or lovely beaches where visitors can swim and play. There are people living on only 5 of the island. The island of Santa Cruz has the largest human population in the island and is island and is home to the and is home to and is home to and is home to and is home to the Charles Darwin Research Station.